This is Basketball More Than a Game with your hosts, Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Former high school coach and player have teamed up again to share their knowledge of the game and life skills on and off the court. Now here are Coaches G and Q.
Hey, this is Coach Goins. I'm going to be kicking it over to the hottest co-host this side of heaven in a few seconds. But like we always say, make sure you got them. You know what? We ain't going to have on those sneakers this week. So Coach Quick is going to be talking about that here in a few seconds. So stay tuned. Dynamic show. And I'm going to kick it over to Coach Quick right now.
Hey, what's going on, Coach G? You want to know what's popping with Coach Q? Well, Coach Q is so excited about our special guest via telephone today. I feel like I'm on the campus of Johnson C. Smith University, seated inside the Irwin Belt Complex, waiting on a big offensive lineman to pave the way for a running back to score a touchdown. So after this short break, we're going to come right back and introduce you to our very special guest. So make sure those cleats are laced up tight.
Ladies and gentlemen, you just heard Coach Quick just told you, you know what, put the sneakers on the shelf this week. Coach Quick, I know you're excited to introduce our very special guest. So with that, I'll give you the honor.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I'd like to introduce, he is the offensive line, tight end coach, recruiting coordinator, and the academic liaison for Johnson C. Smith University. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Basketball More Than a Game, my brother-in-law, Montaze, McRae.
Man, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me.
All right.
Yes, sir. It's our pleasure.
Yes, sir. So you heard it, folks. Somebody said, man, y'all put the sneakers on the shelf. Make sure you get them cleats, man. If you need turf shoes, we go to the locker room. We can get you squared away. So, Coach McRae, man, we certainly appreciate you taking time out and being with us to talk about life, talk about football, and all that stuff. So listen, folks, let me just give you a little history here. Coach McRae is a graduate of where? Hope County High School. That's right. Me being a former Pinecrest guy, Coach Quick being from Union Pines, we still going to share some love and talk to one of the guys from down south by way of Hope County. He's also a graduate of the University of North Carolina A&T State University. Okay, A&T State University, the Aggie Pride. So now, and also he did a stint at Fayetteville State University. How about them Broncos? But now he is in Charlotte with the Golden Bulls. So with that, Coach McRae, here's my very first question. What caused you to really, really take on and just have a passion about the game of football?
Coming up in, Hope County, that's all we had was really football. So you couldn't be a big guy or a good skilled guy from Hope County, you not play football. I was always too big to play, recreation football. So once I got to middle school, I'll never forget. I tried out for middle school, and I thought it was too tough. And so I had told the coach, I was like, man, I got to go use the bathroom. And so I used that time, to walk to the bathroom. Like, man, do I want to do this or do I not? So I ended up not playing. And so I remember going to a basketball at Hope County, and I forgot the coach's name at the time. But he saw me. He was like, what grade you going to? I was like, I'm going to the ninth. He's like, well, your boy going to play football. I'm like, no, I ain't. So I ended up going out my freshman year. I was originally a tight end, and then I moved to offensive line. And ever since, man, my passion, I think from my freshman year to now, man, my passion grew stronger every year to, not only coach the game of football, but play the game.
Wow. Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Yeah, to piggyback off that rascal, he kept getting bigger and growing and growing and growing, and his love for the game got even stronger. So just watching him grow up was just, an inspiration to me. And I definitely, as his brother-in-law, I got to sit here and say I'm extremely proud of him. But Coach McRae, my first question for you. Can you tell us about how you got your coaching start and where?
Yeah, I was playing arena football. I graduated college in 2007, and I had some workouts at North Carolina State at the time. There was several NFL teams out there, and my agent was like, we'll see what we'll do, and from there, Plan B might be arena. And I didn't get a call from the league, so I ended up playing arena football at Concord Speed, which is in Concord, North Carolina. And I broke my leg towards the end of practice.
Mm.
And I was like, man, so that was like my first ever injury, high school, college, or whatever. And I'm sitting here like, yo, I don't like this feeling. Like, to break my leg, man, I was in so much pain. And I didn't know how I was going to bounce back from it. And so once I got myself back healed, another team, Fayetteville Guard, had called me. And then, I was like, you know what? I played a couple of games and I got a concussion. I was like, okay, I got to, I got a family, so now I got to think, more realistically. You know what I'm saying? And so I did that, and I moved to Durham, and got married. And I rode past this high school, and I kept, seeing this high school. And I was like, if I can't play no more, I want to coach. I want to see how it is to coach. And when I saw it, so one day I stopped by, and I went up to a guy. I was like, yeah, I'm looking for the head coach. And I ended up meeting another guy who I thought was the head coach. And so I'm making my pitch to him, thinking he's the head coach. And he's actually the running back coach, named Damon McKee, who's now, has been, from that day to now, we're like best of friends. But he introduced me to the current head coach, who is now the head coach at Shaw, Adrian Jones. And from that day, I ended up being a volunteer coach, and the next year to a paid coach. And ever since then, I'm here now as a college coach.
Wow.
And that's outstanding. Yes, sir. Coach G, gonna kick it over to you for the next question.
Well, you know what? I want to frame that out a little bit right there, Coach Quick.
Yes, sir.
Since I got my cleats on and everything, and I got and it's like I'm smelling the grass. But here's the things I want to frame out to our listener on it. Listen what the passion that Coach McRae, he understood the injuries, had a responsibility with his family, but the passion was there. And like you said, he rode by the school and he just had the vision. And like it says, when you had the vision, write it, make it plain. And it was. He mashed the brake and went in there, and you know what he did? He sold himself. He went and had a conversation. And then that conversation led to a position. And like he said, he volunteered. You know what? Think about a lot of times people think they got to get paid to do anything. When people just don't go out and just say, okay, you know what? I'm going to volunteer my services to, number one, to make an impact, to make a difference. And Coach McRae's done that. Then he was rewarded with the full-time position. So with that, Coach, when you got there and you got in the flow of things and really got in, and the coaching bug bit you and bit you bad because you went from the high school ranks to now you're coaching college. What was that experience like? Really, and let's if you don't mind, frame it out for the high school. What was it like? Really, that first interaction, coaching you for the day? Because I know it can be difficult at times.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, it was cool because being a young coach in the profession, a lot of those kids was related to what I was doing. I was related to what they was doing.
Yes, sir.
Not even football, just music and the lingo that they use now. So it was, I kind of fit right in. I think I was actually the youngest coach on the staff. So when kids kind of talk to like certain coaches, they would come to me because I can relate to them because I was a young coach. And I was fresh out of college, so I kind of, I felt like I still had some playing in me. So I was like, man, I had to bring that enthusiasm to them, and it carried on for a long time. And I felt like we made some history at Southern Durham. Just having this conversation with you guys, it just brings back flashbacks because I had a young man, and I always tell college players this now. I had a kid that was probably like 5. He wasn't even 6 foot, and he just had that dog, and I just saw it, and I ended up putting him at right tackle. Typically a right tackle is probably about 6'3", 6'4", but a lot of people don't know in Southern Durham, and this is probably like history. But that young man was probably the first player ever to come in and play 4 straight years as a starter and never missed a start.
Wow.
At 5'11", playing right tackle.
Wow.
He ended up playing tackle his freshman year. Then I moved him inside the guard. But he's never missed a start. Christian House. one of the, fine young men, and now that same young man that, I instilled, the characteristic of a man. Now that young man is graduated from college. He played the same fraternity that I played, married, and now he got a kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, see, you know what, Coach Quick?
Yes, sir.
I see. And Coach McRae, let me tell you, I got to work on your brother-in-law getting him a pay raise because he's steady out here bringing in just top quality folks on the show. So, folks, right now we have Coach Montaze McRae. He is coaching at Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's the Golden Bulls. And again, the story he just told was hard for, and I can understand that because I've been there, and the guy that I reached out to 28 years ago is now my co-host, Coach McRae. So I understand that, and you make a difference. You've made a difference, and that young man will never forget you, and the young man or the men that's playing for you now will never forget you. And we just certainly appreciate you sharing that story, Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Coach McRae, could you tell our listening audience what it was like for you winning the state championship in 2013 as an offensive line coach at Southern Durham University? And during that same year, your twin boys were born on the night that you beat an arch rival in Scotland County. So could you elaborate on that for our audience?
Oh yeah, that's coaching at Southern, man, was a beautiful thing, man. We built some memories. We went to in my last 10 there. We went to out of 3 years. We went to 2 state championships. We won one, lost one. And realistically, we should have went to 3 straight, but we had some setbacks, but we persevered. At Southern, I remember we played Scotland County, and being from Hope County, we don't like Scotland. Scotland, they ain't like us. So, when our head man told us we had Scotland on the schedule, I said, "Oh man, we're going to the crib. This is the crib." And my wife at the time, she was pregnant, and I remember several months prior, one of the coaches had a function at his house. And he like, "Man, we go to Scotland, man. Your wife gonna have them babies." I said, "Man, don't say that, man. Don't say that." So, as time went by, I remember it was September the 11th, and my wife had a checkup, to make sure things were good with the baby. So, as we on the road, I'm like, man, I ain't heard from her. I'm kind of worried. And so, I had some cousins call me, my sister called me, like, how
You're
the cold
listening to
doing out where,
Basketball More Than
she's
a
at a
Game
doctor's
with
office
Coach
now,
Goins and Coach
on a
Quick.
follow-up. Man, next thing you know, as I'm talking to my cousin, my wife at the time is beeping in. I'm like, "What's up? Everything good?" She like, why they jinx us? I mean, what you talking about? She said they about to admit me to the hospital, my blood pressure high. So from that point, I'm like, we all the way down on US 1, 2 hours away, about to play Scotland. So the coaches know, I made them aware what was going on. So the whole game, man, I was focused, but I won't focus because I was concerned about her and my kids are born. I'm not there. I don't know how I was gonna live with myself. And so we end up playing Scotland a Thursday night, and we were supposed to play it on Friday, but it was a storm that was coming in that Friday, so they pushed it to Thursday. So make a long story short, we at Scotland, and it's high. They got at that time Zamir White was a freshman, so we're at Scotland County. People Scotland don't lose at Scotland, but
Right.
we felt like we could match up with them. So make a long story short, that team we had in 13, we had 25 or 26 kids to go to D1, D2, D3, and even JUCO. So we felt like we was talented as them.
Wow.
So we got there, and we jumped out on Scotland. We were going back and forth, and Scotland went down. I think it was maybe 6 minutes. They went down, they scored. They're like, "Yeah, that's it." But we were so good, and when I say this, I say this real humble. We was real good but we always knew if a team gave us the ball last, we was kind of like Aaron Rodgers in the fourth quarter. When you give it too much time, we're going to go down and score. You know what I'm saying? We're going to force you to use timeout. At the time, Kendall Hinton, who's now the receiver for the Broncos, drove us down, and we scored. So now it forced Scotland to score, and everybody knows Scotland's not a passing team. They're going to run the ball.
Right.
So we was good at defensively where we would man up on you. You know what I'm saying? And we ended up beating them. At the end, all the coaches knew I was like, yo, I got to go. So we rolled out together. So, you know, the head coach made an announcement like, yo, Montaze is about to have his babies. You know, so he got to get back. So I rushed back, and luckily I was able enough. They induced her, and my boys came at 4:14, 4:15 that next morning.
Wow.
And when I see them now, even when I talk to Coach Bailey, the head coach at Scholar, when I come down there and recruit, I tell them every time I see them, I say, yo, the Scholar twins, Scholar County twins are doing good. Because everybody had that procession. Everybody, Scotland is this way. I was like, well, we came to Scotland and we beat them. And I always remember that night, having my twins, beating the team I always wanted to beat. And to cap it off, we ended up going, I think, 14, 15 game winning streak. We ended up finishing 14-2. But that 14-2 season led us to the state championship. The state championship was actually the day after my birthday. And then coming into the next season, we was like on a 6-game losing streak. So we was like on almost like a 20-game winning streak going into the next season.
Wow.
And that was my journey from Southern to now.
Wow. That's outstanding. And Coach McRae, I remember seeing the video of your head coach talking to the team, and he told them that you made the sacrifice to be there, and your wife was at the hospital about to have twin boys, and you got so emotional. And me watching that video, it choked me up some. So, man, I definitely remember that night, and, man, you're still making impact on kids' lives.
And I appreciate it, man. And it's crazy, man. Her phone had died.
Oh,
so now,
no.
I was on 10. Man, I'm calling my neighbors, my mama. I'm like, hey, man, somebody go to the hospital. I don't know where she at. Like, I was all over the place, man. So it was crazy.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow, that's
all
excellent.
right, Coach G.
That's excellent. So, listen, folks, we've got on none other than Coach Quick and our very special guest via telephone from Charlotte, North Carolina, Coach Montaze McRae, and he is the offensive line tight end coach for Johnson C. Smith University. And we're going to step away, and we'll be back in a few seconds.
Looking for a smarter way to shop for your insurance for you and your families? Look no farther. There is help. With several different companies and plans to choose from, whether it's life insurance or Medicare supplemental plans, finding the right plan has never been easier. Licensed with multiple companies and able to shop various rates, plans to help find the best plan for you and your budget. Independent insurance broker Curtis Jackson is the one to call for help. Call Curtis now at 919-614-5796 for a no-cost consultation. You're listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick.
All right, folks, we're back in, and via telephone from Charlotte, North Carolina, we have on offensive line coach as well as tight end coach, Montaze McRae, Coach Montaze McRae, and he is the brother-in-law of the best co-host this side of heaven. Coach Quick, what's popping?
Yes, sir. Coach McRae, what was the experience like for you coaching at Fayetteville State University?
It was good, man. I was at a coaching convention in Greensboro, and one of the coaches, I had heard that it was a job opening, so I reached out to the head coach, who's Coach Hayes, and I was like, Coach, you got a job opening? And he was like, yeah. He said, I'm going to be in touch with you. So I was at the high school coaches clinic in Greensboro, and he saw me tonight. He said, I'm going to call you. And 2 weeks later, I get a call. I was offered the job. Well, I went down to interview, and then I was offered the job. So I went back, and my wife at the time, we discussed the job. I had to put my mind together to talk to the team because I knew in my mind I was going to take it because it was always a dream of mine to coach college. And I accepted it. I was there for a year. We did some good things. I think we lost one conference game. I brought in some good kids. And that recruiting class, I think that recruiting class, I ended up signing maybe like 9 to 10 kids.
Wow.
Actually, some of the kids that we recruited there, just not graduating. Of course, they won some CIAA championships, and I still get texts from families. Now they're like, "Yeah, coach, I appreciate recruiting my son and bringing my son here." So that spoke volumes to me because they knew I was a part of the process, and I'm forever grateful for Coach Hayes giving me my first college job. And I always text him when I see him, and it's always love because he didn't have to give me a job. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'm forever grateful. I was there for a year, did some good things, learned a lot, man. Because coming from high school, man, I'm gonna tell you, the game of football was so fast in college. So when I took the job, the OC at the time was on vacation, and so I had to learn the offense on the fly. I basically had to learn the offense throughout the whole season. You know what I'm saying? And it was a learning experience, but it was a good experience. And after that, man, I got hired here at Smith, and I've been here for 5 years now.
Wow.
Yes, sir. Coach Goins, I see you pulling out on this counter tray, so I'm gonna kick the ball over to the running back.
Watch out, man. What you know about that counter tray, man? That's
know a little bit about it.
okay. All right, man. Hey, I don't know. Did Coach McRae know you wore Carolina pants when you played?
I think I told him about it before.
Okay. I just want to make sure he knew you wore them. You wore them Tar Heels. He was the only man in the conference that had them, had the UNC on his hip. But no, Coach, that's, and again, I appreciate you allowing our listeners and especially our younger guys that has the aspirations to play at the next level. So let me ask you this question. So when a kid hits your radar, number one, what's the first thing that you look at, and is it word of mouth, or do you and again, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. If you don't mind, take us down that road. You're in your office and you hear about a kid. Take us from there on the recruiting aspect of it.
The first, and I tell kids this when I'm working camps. If number one, if you're not registered for the clearinghouse, I can't talk to you because I don't want to set myself up, and I don't want to set you up. They got to have a good GPA. If they got a GPA that's below a 2.5, I really don't talk to them then either because, kids got to understand the difference between overall and core GPA. And a lot of kids don't understand that. And we stress that because some kids don't even know what the NCAA clearinghouse is. So I try to reinforce that not only to the kids, players, and even the guidance counselor. So those are some of my pet peeves. It's like it's an interview. When I come to your guidance counselor, I should see a 2.5 and higher. Core, not overall, but core. Because that'll help me as a coach when I go back to tell my boss, like, hey, coach, we can package this kid up. We can get some academic money. We can get some Pell Grant money, North Carolina need base, and then we can top it off with football. But if you don't got no academic money, we can't give you no academic money because you don't have none. You know what I'm saying? So that's a big pet peeve for me. Big pet peeve.
Wow. You know what? So, folks, you know what? So, guess what? Turn that Xbox off. Turn that PlayStation off. Crack them books. Because right here on Basketball More Than the Game, we are in the trenches. We're bringing you cutting edge conversations from college coaches, high school coaches, to be able to share some insight and give you that information. So, those of you that's out that's not squared away on your clearinghouse, whatever state that you're in, go talk to your guidance counselor, talk to your coaches, because Coach McRae is definitely dropping dimes. Now, I've got one for you, Coach McRae, Coach Quick, if you don't mind me stealing a little bit more. Making that transition from Fayetteville State to Smith and going up. What was the difference? And actually, Fayetteville State's got a nice facility. I've never been to Johnson C. Smith University, but what was the transition like? Just from one institution to the next.
Facility was a difference. Every coaching staff is going to be different. Fayetteville was kind of like home because it's so close to Rayford. When you come to Smith, Charlotte is so big. You got 26 high schools, the big city. I always tell people Charlotte is like the mini Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. It's just a small version, but it's a lot. It's a lot to do. The kids are different. I always tell people up here, from Rayford or anywhere down there like Pinecrest, we're country boys. So, coaches will go to the city to get the skill, but they go to Rayford, Scotland, to Richmond to get the big country boys. It's definitely a difference, man. But I think the coaching staff and the players makes the university. Either one.
Excellent. Appreciate you sharing that. Coach Quick, man, I see you get ready to. Is that you wide open over there in the end zone?
Most definitely.
All right, sir.
Yes, sir. Coach McRae, tell us who are some of the coaches actually that you look to as mentors, that you see as mentors.
Oh man, it's a whole list. It's a whole list, man. I could talk for days. Regards of my mentors to make me the coach I am, the man I am today. Coach Ray, who's the assistant head coach down at Fort Valley. George Small, who's the head coach now at Hope County, who recruited me to North Carolina A&T. Marcus Johnson, he's now at the University of Missouri. Coach Tabaka at Wake Forest. Coach Bullock, who's at Morgan State. Big Hayes, he taught me so much, man. Bill Hayes, man, is a legend. So for a guy like that caliber to teach me the things I'm gonna tell you that I'm probably the O-line coach I am today because he stayed in my butt. Like I said, coming out of high school to college, I didn't know a lot of college philosophy, so I had to learn that. Each year I feel like I got better. I always, to this day, I will call him and say, "Hey, coach, what you think about this?"
Mm-hmm.
Like all my buddies, most of all the coaches in the ACC, I work with the coaching staff at State. I work with the coaching staff at University of Tennessee, North Carolina, East Carolina, Coach McNeil. All those guys played a part where I'm at. Coach Brown, my high school coach, those guys helped mold me to, the man I am. My head coach, Coach Blunt. Those are some good pillars that taught me the game, and I even reach out to coaches in the league. As a young coach, man, I'm always trying to learn because you can never stop learning this game of football. So, I know there's some other guys out there that I can name, man. Like I said, I can go for days about all the names that have helped me. It's a lot. It's a lot, So,
yes, sir.
Those guys.
Definitely, I like that humility. You got a hunger to want to be better, and I'm sure you have desires to be a head coach one day. So, like you said, you never can stop learning. I appreciate you opening up to our listening audience about that. Coach G, I see you.
Yes, sir. So, Coach McRae, I early you made reference to Aaron Rodgers, and I don't know if that was just a reference or are you a Green Bay fan?
No, my brother, he'll tell you, I'm definitely not a Green Bay fan, but I like Aaron Rodgers and how he'll take control of the game when they're down. But I'm a Cowboy fan. But people always talk about like Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady, but those guys, man, if you get them the ball and they down just about 2 minutes, I think I'm gonna take my money on them. And that's kind of the mentality that you got to have. And that's how we were at Southern, and that's why we won the state championship. We got some good kids. We just knew we expected to win. Like when we came to Southern and we stood on that hill, we just knew we was gonna win.
Wow.
And that's why we was scoring points like 40, 50 points. I remember to this day it was 4th and 25. We throw a vertical route to our number one receiver and he scored a touchdown. And I can just remember looking at the coach on the other side and he's like, dang, that's how good we were.
Wow.
Like that's how really good we were.
Wow. Coach Quick, when he said that, I thought he might have stepped out there and said he was a Steeler fan. But when he said he was a Cowboys fan, we might have to edit that. No, I'm just teasing. But you know what? That one, it's you got to believe in your players and you got to understand, and that's what I thought. Let me ask you this question. I want to go here. So, is as your players change, is it your philosophy to change the offense as it adapts to your players, or is it your philosophy to say, okay, you know what, this is what I got, and I'm not going to change?
Well, it depends. Coaches, they're gonna do what they know, and some coaches, you got to coach to your kids' weaknesses and kids' abilities. In this era of football, it's a lot of RPOs, zone. So it depends. I think you can go either way with that. But you definitely want to coach to your kids' ability. You know what your kids can do. You got to put your kids in the best situation, and sometimes you might have to, as coaches call it, dumb it down so they can understand it. Sometimes coaches make it too complicated, so you got to make it to where they understand it.
Wow. You know what, Coach Quick? Coach Quick.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure you were that when I say dialed in. But here's the issue that I've seen over the last several years, Coach McRae, is a lot of coaches don't go that route. And I use a basketball analogy. So if Coach Quick and I are coaching the team, and we got two 7-footers and a 6'10" guy, we going inside. Now next
That
year, due to graduation, our front line may be 6'4", 6'3", 6'2". We might have to speed it up and run up down the floor. But then some coaches want to sit here and still pound it inside, like we got Giannis, Ralph Sampson, and Akeem Olajuwon. And over the course of my time in following sports, I just seen that, I don't know, it seemed like it's been more coaches really wanting to keep running the same thing. But I certainly appreciate your transparency to be able to step out and say, hey, you know what? Sometimes you might have to change up your scheme just to fit your players. So I certainly appreciate that. So listen, we're gonna step away for a few seconds, but right now on via telephone is Coach Montaze McRae, and he is coaching at Johnson C. Smith University. That's in Charlotte. He's offensive line tight end coach and academic liaison. And we'll be back after this commercial break.
Visit our website, coachgoins.podbean.com. Always learn to pass. Process, attitude, sacrifice, satisfaction.
All right, we're back in, and again, via telephone from Charlotte, North Carolina, Coach Montaze McRae, Johnson C. Smith University. Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Coach McRae, could you tell us what keeps you grounded and what principles do you live by in your day-to-day life?
Man, I'm gonna tell you, I got one thing to keep me grounded, and it's the power of my wife. That's my twin boys.
Yes, sir.
Everything I do for them. My family, they know me. I hustle hard, I work hard, I grind hard. I want my kids to have the things I didn't have. So I make sacrifices to make sure they have what I didn't have. My brother-in-law tell you, coming up in high school, my grandparents weren't able to take me to like my visits. So my brother-in-law them had to take me on my recruiting visits. My grandma didn't understand the process. So my brother-in-law know my journey. Everybody from Polk County, a big dude. I was always a class clown, but nobody expected Tez to be the man I am. But my grandfather, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, I owe it all to my family because everybody played a part of my life. That's why I'm the man I am today. Even the coaches. Well, my kids keep me going. I tell my kids, you ain't got to worry. I might not be rich now, but I will be in the soon, real soon. I believe in God. I believe that, when God closes one door, he opened up another. So every day, man, that's the power of my why. When I listen to E.T., I listen to E.T. Thomas every morning. And he always said the power. So the power is most important in my family. My mother, my sister, my family, man. That's what it's all about. So that's my why.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I can definitely tell you. Yeah, I know your journey, and man, the man that you become, your entire family back in Hope County and the surrounding areas are very proud of you. You keep doing what you do, keep putting God first, and just continue to lead by example. We're definitely proud of you, and you know we love you. Keep your head up.
I appreciate it. Love you too, man.
Wow,
Yes,
man,
sir.
man, that's as first of all, that's major transparency. And you know what, Coach Quick, when Coach McRae was going down through that, and he said his why, made me think of Coach Collins,
Yes, sir.
because he always his why. If you've ever been in my house, and I'll share this kind of coming off of what Coach McRae was talking about, is when I exit I go out through my laundry room, which leads into my garage, and above that door, and I've always had this in every home that I've owned. It says one word. It says family. And that's why I
Yes,
get
sir.
up. That's why I hit that door in the morning, whether it's 4:30 in the morning, whether it's 5 o'clock, or whether it's Saturday morning, and I'm just walking outside at 8 o'clock or whatever. But that's above the door, and I explained to my kid that's what it's all about. So I certainly appreciate your transparency, Coach McRae. Certainly appreciate your time, your talent, and in that, I'm going to kick it over to Coach Quick, and then Coach, if you have Coach give his closing comments. Coach Quick.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Coach McRae, I just like to say thank you for taking out this time and opportunity to come on our show, Basketball More Than a Game. I told you probably a couple of months ago, I wanted to get you on the show. And we've been booked up and scheduled, but I knew I was going to get you in. And, man, you didn't hesitate. You said you was ready. And that meant everything to me to be able to get you on the show, to use our platform for you to be able to tell your story, and that you may be able to reach someone else who is going through some of the same things that you went through, from a kid up to high school, coaching at the high school level, and now you're at the collegiate level looking for bigger and better things. And as I said earlier, your sister, she's extremely proud of you. I'm proud of you. Your aunts are proud of you. Your mom, especially, is definitely proud of you. And man, just keep doing what you do, brother, because man, we see it. We see it. We're happy about our twin nephews. We love them to life, and we can't wait to spend more time with you and them. So, man, hey, once again, thanks for coming on the show, and we'll kick it over to you for your closing comments.
Oh man, I appreciate that. Again, first of all, thank you guys for having me. My brother asked me to do it. Like you said, it was no hesitation. I feel like you got to be a bridge builder to people.
Mm.
We got to look after for our people. Um, that comes with being humble.
Yes,
So,
sir.
when somebody want me to do something, the people that have my back, I gotta have their back. Regardless if people don't like me, I gotta have their back.
Mm.
People gonna smile, they're gonna laugh at you, they're gonna joke about you. But at the end of the day, when it comes to my family, if they need me, I'm there. Um, and my brother-in-law knows my schedule has been tight. So during the season, I really don't get to come home.
Yes,
Up
sir.
here in Charlotte, man, it's just me and my kids. So um, I would tell these young athletes, man, it's cool to watch stuff on YouTube or the NFL or college, but everybody's journey is different. Everybody can't go D1, so you better have a plan. And if you don't have a plan, you need to think of it now. That's why I always tell kids you gotta instill goals in your life. So football ain't here forever.
Mm.
So if football gone, what are you gonna do?
Wow.
But one thing somebody can't take is having a degree. Now, mind you, I graduated high school in 2004, and I graduated college in 2007. And nobody would ever thought that I would graduate college in 3 years, but I did it.
Yes,
I
sir.
had a plan, I executed it, and God turned me and molded me into the man I am today. For Him, I'm forever grateful because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Him. So,
Amen.
again, appreciate you guys for having me. I'll never forget home, Polk County. That's my home. Um, I thank all the coaches that have helped me to get to this point, and it's only the beginning. And, that's pretty much it, man. Again, appreciate you guys for having me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So Coach McRae, we certainly appreciate you and blessings upon you and everything that you put your heart and hand to, and bless your family, and may God continue to watch over your kids. Coach Quick, get us to the locker room.
Yes, sir. For Coach Goins, our special guest, Montaze McRae, the offensive line, tight end coach, recruiting coordinator, and academic liaison for Johnson C. Smith University football program. And for myself, Coach Quick, we'll see you in the gym.
You've been listening to Basketball More Than a Game with Coach Goins and Coach Quick. Our podcast is available on podbean.com.